And we're here. What up, fam? Hit that like, hit that subscribe. This is Philly Sports Unfiltered. We're going to talk about young pitchers throwing way too many pitches. And are the Phillies giving a little 2008 vibes? We're going to discuss it. Let's go. Welcome in, everybody. This is Philly Sports Unfiltered. That's Tony Cutillo. I'm Tom Arnone. Everybody out there, welcome in, welcome in, welcome in. Let's go over a lot of stuff tonight. Young pitchers throwing way too many pitches. Is it more pitches than ever before? What's the reason for arm injuries in youth sports? We're going to discuss that a little bit tonight. And the Philadelphia Phillies, it's their main topic at hand. The Phillies are given 2008 vibes. Right in our poll, which essentially says the same thing. The 2025 Phillies, the 2025, that's like ridiculous to say. The 2025 Phillies give off 2008 World Series vibes. Do you agree or disagree? Let us know. Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, that's where we're live. Everywhere you get your podcast, we're there as well. Hit the like, subscribe, follow, say it every show. Most importantly, join the conversation with us tonight. Let's muck it up a little bit. Tone, what do you say? A little 2008 vibes?
I'll tell you, man, I'm feeling it. Like I, it's funny. I hit you with this morning. I'm actually surprised that the poll went the opposite way. More disagree than agree. But yeah, I think there's a lot of different things and a lot of similarities in 2008 that people are not saying. Now, I get the last game. You don't like to see Wheeler get mucked up. I get it. It happens. What are you going to do? But just look at the way this team is structured. And a lot of people might think I'm really going a little extreme here, but I look at just very simple. Look at a guy like Marchand, who looks like Carlos Ruiz reincarnated, right? Another guy that is all defense, no offense. Another guy that has the ability to make plays when he has to. Pitchers, you have Romano, who I was really high on. I know he started off strong. Now he's going strong again, throwing a ridiculous slider, kind of like Brad Lidge, right? Can we, Matt Strom should be able to play the Scott Air role as long as Matt Strom doesn't get a little overexposed like I think he's getting right now. And then Kyle Schwarber is single-handedly reincarnating like those Ryan Howard vibes in the middle of that lineup, man. Like I really feel it. And you think about it, the starting pitching in 2008, you had one pitcher, in Cole Hamels. And now you got five. Right? Like you legitimately got five. So I just think that the way this team is going, they're just like quietly going with the best record in baseball. And not to mention Trey Turner giving off those J-Roll leadoff vibes too. So there's a lot of similarities, I think, with this team that goes back to 2008. And I think that actually makes this team better than 2008, obviously. But I'll tell you, man, I can feel the magic, Tom. I can feel it.
Well, you know what we like to do here. It's easy just to, agree it up. So I'll try to play the other side of it a little bit. All fantastic points and good comparisons for sure. I think I agree with Greg a little bit in terms of the bullpen. Probably not what 2008 is yet.
True.
Not sure how much we can trust it. The loss of Alvarado really hurts this lineup. Yeah, I think there's some similarities for sure. Right. I don't think they give me that vibe because that came out of nowhere. And what I mean by nowhere is it was the second year after making the playoffs. So you hope to make a jump, right? You hope to make a jump. I think this team more gives me the vibes of the team that had the great rotation. Now, not the same exit per se, but that vibe of, hey, we're dominant with our starting pitching and we can swing it. We can swing it. Our lineup's really good. Right? And we're just quietly having the best record in baseball. Those similarities I see more because that team was more seasoned. There were some additions. So this is weird because it's more of like, yeah, his core's been here for a while. But 2008, like I said, you get to the playoffs, you get your taste, and you expect they could jump next year and they go win a World Series. And then it was sort of like over, but not over. Right? They went to another World Series. They weren't able to win it. And they won 102 games one year. Right? So they just weren't able to close it again. This is different because They're just not able to close it yet, period. And they've been going for a while now. That's why the vibes are different, just because they've been going for so long. If this was like the second year of it, the comparisons are where you're saying is there's no lies. There's no lies in the comparison. So I agree and I agree to disagree, or disagree to agree. I don't know why my internet sucks. I don't know what is going on in my life.
Yeah, man, you're like going back and forth. But no, listen, I will say this. I honestly I understand what you're saying, but maybe my question is a little misconstrued, right? So what you say is correct. What I'm technically saying is I'm feeling the magic of 2008. Like because that wasn't by any means a perfect season except for Brad Lidge. We win against Washington on a play with a dive by Chase Utley that essentially, could have took us, out, right? So like you look at it, it wasn't perfect, but I'm feeling the vibes of the magic, right? I'm feeling the vibes that this team is just, because in '08, until we got to, like, you're right, until we got to the playoffs, except for Brad Lidge's excellence, nothing was taken for granted that year. Like it was up and down. It wasn't just this major streak where we were just running away with shit, right? It came down to the last game of the year in the NL East, right? It came down to the last game of the year. So I feel those vibes and I feel the magic is what I should have said. I should have said, like, I feel the winning magic of 2008. And I will say this, looking at this rotation, there's a lot of things that are going to happen. I think we all understand that. If you understand the logistics of baseball and the business side of baseball, you understand that something's coming. It's definitely coming. Because you're not going to continue, whether people want to face reality or not. Like, you're not signing Ranger Suarez, so either he's going to be playing somewhere else in August, or you're going to just wind up letting him go at the end of the year because you cannot realistically sign him, especially with what Kyle Schwarber is going to demand in the open market for an extension or a new contract. So you have the young horses coming up. So I just look at this and it's like, all right, you know what, man? I'm feeling the magic. I'm feeling the vibes. And I tell you, they keep going this way, and the World Series, man, is right there. This could finally be the year. And this could be the saying where you go, if it's not this year, maybe it's not going to happen with this core.
Yeah, that's where I'm at with them. They are a wait and see. And am I fired up with the way they played? Yeah, for sure. They play great baseball, but they are a wait till October, and we're going to find out, sadly. And that's where they're at, and that's probably why they're not getting the love locally like they probably should, is because we've sort of seen this before. True. Now, the one thing different that I think is different than any other year, and something we've talked about, anybody that has a baseball feel for life has discussed this, and that's who you should lead off. Okay? We knew the numbers with Kyle Schwarber leading off. We also knew our best home run hitter, if we want to get cute with analytics, which I guess the pocket protectors don't want to do this battle, is I got a guy hitting 40 homers and driving in 80 runs. So what good does the solo homer really bring you when you have a guy now that's batting out of his comfortability, per se, in a new city with a mega deal? Come on, man. This is a game. These are creatures of habit. And that is not an excuse for Trey Turner not playing good defense or struggling at the plate. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, when you're a creature of habit and it's a game of consistency, it's a game of showing up and I'm in the leadoff hole and I know where I'm at, and that kind of thing goes a long way for players, especially when you're new to an area. Now, I know he did it in LA and he had success the first half of that trade, but then I feel like he struggled a little bit in the 2-hole. I feel like that just wasn't his spot to hit. And we go and we finally make the decision to fully do it. And I think that's why we're seeing something different here. Bigger than the pitching, bigger than anything else. That's the key. When you bring up Turner, just triggered me, because that's the key, man. I'm not the 1970 baseball guy all the time. I tell my kids this. Games evolve, you evolve with it, but you keep the core stuff. The stuff that really created this game, you keep. And the one big thing is, a leadoff hitter is a leadoff hitter.
Yes.
I want my guy to be able to run. I want a 5-toolish type player, batting leadoff, and he is that 5-tool player. He can run, he can hit for power, so he brings you a little bit of everything. Same thing as you mentioned, Jimmy Rollins. He gives you Jimmy's a better player, in my opinion. But
I agree.
Until you cut the nets down, baby, he's going to be better here. Not overall. I'm not going to do career. We can do that a different day. But as of right this moment, in the city of Philadelphia, in their careers, Jimmy Rollins was better, obviously. But you go win a World Series and you keep up this kind of year and this kind of production. But that's the key. That's what's different. That's what's different from other years, not the poll question. That's what's different from other years. That's what excites me.
Me too. And I think, like we talked about last week, giving Trey his flowers a little bit, and knowing that you have a 31-year-old guy who's got a mega deal, you don't always see. And again, I'm a big body language guy. So I look at this guy and I'm like, this guy doesn't give two shits about what happens. Like, he just gives me those vibes. Like, he doesn't care. However, when I researched it, and because I think it was on one of the broadcasts, and I heard him say that Rob Thompson challenged him to hit more singles, and because he was going to be a leadoff and this and that. So I kind of dug in to his offseason, and to find out that this dude, all he did was work on a contact swing. He completely abandoned all power stroke and said, you know what? I'm going to work on this. And he did. You don't always see that when a guy's 30, 31, already getting the bag. He's like, screw it. I packed it in. I'm good to go. No, this dude actually legitimately did that. Like you said, that is what's different. And for all the idiots out there and say, oh, Kyle Schwarber, he should be leading off, just like, look at Shohei Ohtani. Shohei Ohtani scored. He steals 40 bases. Kyle Schwarber ain't stealing anything, right? No disrespect to Kyle. But in this team, with this offense, with Bryce batting third, who's not leaving the third spot, it is a no-brainer. Stop with the left-on-left bullshit. You're so worried about it. It works. It friggin' works, man. Keep it. And you're right, man. It's a recipe for success. We've been talking about it for how long? It's there, and it's time, man. I love it. I really do.
Yeah, there's a couple of things when you talk about changing an approach. It's not as much about changing a swing, it's changing an approach.
Yep.
So when you talk about that, it's one, not trying to swing out of your shoes all the time, because that's what gets hitters in trouble. And two, it's more plate discipline. It's laying off the stuff that's not in your red zones and being a smarter hitter, right? And not pressing to do too much. Like I tell guys all the time, if you try to hit the 5-run homer, it's not happening.
Yep.
Right. The 5-run homer isn't real. So what do you got to do? Less is more. And I say this to kids all the time too. It's a crazy sport. It's the only sport I'm going to tell you to do less. To do less. When you're talking about hitting the baseball, you can't do too much. And there'll be some freaks out there to tell you that I just swung as hard as I could. Okay. Right. That's not how you hit. And so I love that a lot of these guys, have changed their approach. And I don't know what their strikeout rate is and some of those things like I did earlier on in the year, but I would assume it's better than it was in
gotta
the past. Yep.
It's gotta be. Yeah, I
nailed it. Definitely changed an approach, and you can see it. And I saw Nick's going through some really good approaches too. And Bryce has been good. I just keep Bryce real. I don't know if Bryce has been great, but Bryce has been good. But can you be good and then be great in October when we need you to be great? I'm good.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
I'm good. Be good all year, even though I demand MVP years from him, unlike other people in this city. And I think he would shake my hand for demanding that yearly, because I ain't asking for something crazy.
He demands it of himself.
Yeah. Like I tell this to people all the time. People say, you're a hater. I'm not a hater. I demand my best player to be my best player.
Yes.
Goodness gracious. Now, I just can't have you have a bad year. You just got to have a really good year. If you can have a really good year and then switch me in October, we're good.
Think about it. That was like with the Sixers, not that, everybody, we demand it, and we should demand MVP type years from Joel Embiid. We shouldn't be worrying about who's going to pick up Joel Embiid. Well, no, nobody's supposed to pick him up. Like, he's supposed to be the guy. Like, Bryce Harper is the guy. He's the guy who makes it run. Now, I will say, and it's coming into fruition, I did some content before the season, and I specifically said that I think the key to this team is Kyle Schwarber, and just as being the consistent guy in the middle of that lineup, that I think he'll make this lineup go, and it's proven to come to fruition. But what you said about approach is so huge, because another thing, and I don't have the stats in front of me, but I know for a fact, I'm a nut, dude. I watch as many games as I can. Like, I love baseball. I love watching from the first inning to the ninth. I love everything about it. I love watching the pitcher's approach, the hitter's approach. I think I've seen more full counts pushed by this team this year than ever before. Like, they're getting the pitcher. The opposing pitcher's got 80 pitches in 4 innings because we're working counts. We're not chasing. And that goes unnoticed. People don't understand. It's a huge part of baseball. Huge part, right? We were doing that last year.
Yeah, 08 was great at getting you to the bullpen too, and then mashing you to death. And this team never out of it, because they do run pitch counts up. But a lot of guys are having really good years. I mean, Trey Turner's having a really good year. Right, he's got 14 stolen bases, 303 average, still got 5 long balls in the mix, 9 doubles. I mean, you take this year in, year out. I mean, Schwarber's difference is 19 home runs would have been 22 RBIs. Now it's 41. So now you lead the team in RBIs time, right? Harper, I need more. I mean, 8 homers, 267 average, 13 doubles, really good number. I'm not worried about the homers numbers. I like doubles. I like better batting averages. I like gap-to-gap guys, and he's fine with that. Like, if he hits 30 homers and 35, 40 doubles, nobody's going to complain. But then you got to bat 285.
Yes.
Right? So there's levels to this stuff. Nicky's having a good year, 289, 4 bombs, pretty much 30 RBIs. Bomer's really come along, right? Struggled to start the season. He's up to 272 now. Right, 4 homers, 20 ribbies, 8 doubles. Still need more, but then the power numbers are down for this group as a whole. But in my opinion, averages are up and contact's up.
It is. It really, and it shows
as
that
much as it can be in modern day baseball. Sorry,
right? And they put in time, right? They did put in time. That's one thing. We were all hammering Kevin Long. We're all hammering the hit coach, and they should change. They should have done this, done that, right? Yeah. Listen, man. Like you said, creatures of habit, right? There's only so much that you're going to get a 31-year-old baseball player to change. There's only so much, right? They have to want to do it. And, you can have the best coach in the world. Doesn't matter. They have to want to do it, right? I mean, look what's going on with Juan Soto.
Yeah,
right?
You're spot on, Tony. Right? You're in my wheelhouse right now. You're
you know.
Like,
you do it for a living.
I can lead the horse to water, but how thirsty is he?
There you go.
Like, I got the water. I got the answers to the test.
Yep.
No, I don't got the answer to the test to say you're going to be a big leaguer, right? That's a whole nother level of craziness. But I got the answers to the test. You being a varsity baseball player and a legit player and a 4-year college player. I got those answers. How bad do you want them?
Exactly.
Like, when we do a lesson and you do it for 30 minutes, and I say, well, here, we're going to help you in 30 minutes, no question about it. But if you ain't opening up the damn toolbox and using the tools, then what's the point of me giving you the toolbox? Exactly. Why do you do 5 or 6 drills on the tee, Tom? Well, because I want them to know it, to take it home all the time. So you got it. When you talk about approaches, I need the player to believe in approaches. We talked about quality of bats with my 4 teams, right? I feel like the second I started calling it out and telling guys like, yo, you didn't walk, or this, or that. Like, so what do you guys want? I'll give prizes out to the top 3 guys in quality at bats at the end of the year. Who are they going to be? Immediately, guys started having better approaches. Guys started buying in to 2-strike approaches. Big leaguers, now you're talking about a whole nother level of craziness, because you're talking about, in my opinion, a lot of big leaguers, egomaniacs.
Yes.
And creatures of habit. This is what got me here. So when people talk about firing the hitting coach, you're out of your mind. Any great hitting coach is not going to take credit for your success, and it's sure as hell not going to take credit or take grenades for your failures. None of us are going to do that. I don't want credit for your success. You took the knowledge we gave you and you ran with it. It's you.
Ain't one of the tools.
Same with Turner. Same with half
Yep.
this lineup, right? So
Yep.
you nailed it. That's all I'm saying to you, Bay.
No.
You absolutely nailed it. And I love talking hitting. It's my favorite thing in the world to talk about. And it drives me crazy watching guys years past not have an approach when I'm sitting here at 265 on my couch and telling you that I can have a better approach than you had right there.
Yep.
That's a problem.
It is a problem.
Not as good as you, but can have a better approach. Like JT, watch JT. Tell me he don't leak the front hip every swing. So are you going to make the adjustment, JT? You don't watch enough goddamn film. I told you before, it's like the CIA and FBI in there. There's so much film to know and numbers to back it that you drive the ball better the opposite way. So why are you leaking inside?
He is. When he first came here, and I love JT, right? And I love everything he's saying. We're gonna get to this question in a second. And I love to look at this from an approach standpoint. When he first came, I said, look, here's the problem, man. Like, I love JT, but that huge high leg kick, that open hit, that's not going to last. Like, that's shit you could do when you're 24. Well, right. But when you're 31, 30, that ain't going to happen, man. It ain't going to happen. And Philly JRB, listen, what's the point of the hitting coach then? And Tom can probably speak on this better than me, but my opinion is the point of the hitting coach is you're going to pick out little tweaks that may happen, right? That hitting coach could be like, all right, look, like, for instance, Bryce Harper. I'll tell you right now, Bryce Harper, everybody did film study on Bryce Harper and said, we're not giving Bryce fastballs. We're going to give him all junk, all speed pitches. So Kevin Long, what is his job as a hitting coach? It's to adjust his approach in order to hit that pitch. Doesn't mean that he's going to allow him to hit that pitch. What he's going to do is, listen, Bryce, this is what you're doing. I can't make Bryce lay off the freaking junk. I can't make Bryce not, be able to hit a changeup or a curveball. I can get him ready to do it. I'll give you this real fast. So I do PR for a living. So a lot of authors will come to me and say, hey, Tony, how can we get publicity around my book? I said, listen, I'm not going to sell your book. What I'm going to do is I'm going to sell you. Okay. What you're going to do when I sell you, now you're going to take what I was able to sell and you're going to sell your book. I can't sell your book. So this hitting coach is going to give you the tools and the notes in order to go up there. But listen, at the end of the day, it's all going to be up to the hitter. But that hitting coach is important to give him those little tidbits of information in order to make him go next level. That's the way I look at a hitting coach.
Yeah, I look at it a couple ways. Yeah, the biggest thing I believe that the hitting coach does to help you is the mind, the brain.
Mindset.
I can't preach enough. I could probably make millions of dollars just off of talking to hitters and not even taking a swing. Right. I gotta use an example. I got a varsity guy, really good player, first team all Olympic. Kid put the work in, man. And he gets exactly what he deserves. But he called me that day. Coach, struggling. Can I get in? I said, no, I'm not in, but I got a guy for you. And the guy I gave him, I knew, he just got done playing. So he's had his ebb and flows, rightfully so. But I knew what this lesson was going to be about. This lesson wasn't about your physical abilities, babe. This wasn't about that. I laugh about it because it's you get to a point where you can laugh about it. It's not about physical. It's about here. This game's always been 90% mental, 10% physical, unless you're a traffic cone. Right? It's what it is. So if I can get you to believe, if I can get you out of slumps quicker, if I can get you out of your head quicker, that's the biggest thing I think hitting coaches are there to do. And then twofold information, like you mentioned, information is key. And then like you see something, like I would be a little squatting down with JT in the locker room, like, yo, you're leaking. Now, again, I led you to the water. You're elite. You've been elite at everything you've done in your life. This is where the pro level gets hard. Like that dude's been elite at anything he's played.
Yep.
So now you're telling a guy like, yo, it's not working. It's not working. It's hard. Think about that. Because now the brain says this isn't. I'm great. I can play every day. I can do that. I can do this. This is what I do. This is what I'm comfortable doing. The hardest thing is making you got to get uncomfortable to get comfortable again sometimes.
Yep.
So I could do it. You could do a 10-hour show.
Oh man,
off the head.
Like Charlie Manuel. It's hitting season, boys. It's hitting season.
Nah, I mean I feel like it's fall. We're still in the fall. This is real life. I can't believe it.
I know. Yo, look
like Philly.
Yep.
There's a business out there. It's already there, right? Of mental the mental side for athletes.
There's a reason why every team has a sports psychologist.
Yeah. It's a great job. It's a job I would love to do.
That's a great job.
I feel like I clean you up in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Because in baseball, I tell younger guys like, yo, what? I give them a couple snares. Why'd you start playing? Oh, because it was fun. Okay. When you go play wiffle balls with your boys, are you stressed? Or do you think your shit don't stink? I'm going to tell you what I know it is. And you mash it. You feel great, right? So why all of a sudden when we lace it up on game day is all this pressure coming from? You play because it's fun and you love it. You're playing with your boys. Go play wiffle ball.
Yep.
Go play double or nothing.
Simple, man.
Why are we changing why we're doing this? Because of all the outside pressure that is not there.
Sometimes. Yep. No, you're right. It's like when I would tell my boys all the time, like when we would lose a big game, I'd say, they're harping on it. And that's good, man. I get it. And I'm just like, guys, listen, I understand, but guess what? You know what you're going to go home to do tonight? Same thing you did last night. You're going to go play Xbox. You're going to get on Snapchat. You're going to do the same thing. Like, get the mind right. You're going to come back and play again tomorrow, man. Like, let's just move on, man. Let's move on. Look at my man, Pete. Shout out pushing 20 to life there, but I'm on 25, Pete. 25 to life, baby. Happy anniversary, PE. Absolutely,
happy anniversary,
man.
Pete. Woo. I don't know how she did it either. I'm on 9. I mean, I don't know how that happened. Like 14 together. So
think about that, man. It's crazy.
Like, where'd that go? Right.
That's how I just had mine this month. 23. I'm sorry, 23, but 27 to get like damn, almost 30 years.
So Elena, show it to him. It's everything's archived. Go rip the clip. You broadcast it. Put it on the big board somewhere. I mean, this is Real Talk 101. This stuff is, we make something that's simple hard.
Yep.
It's hard to do, but the process to do it is very basic. But we got jabroni after jabroni that wants to teach something that's been taught a certain way forever, wants to say, this is where I'll drop the mic on it. We're talking about exit velocity. That's all I hear. Okay.
Exit velo.
So I say this here all the time. This is the baseball. So I got baseball with me. I think I do. Okay. Look at this. Prepared. All right. So this is the baseball. If I hit it here, is that the hardest exit velo I'm going to get? If I hit it here, is that what it is? If I hit that damn thing there,
hit the trademark, baby.
Is that going to give me the most exit velo? And kids look at me like, yeah. I said, so do you know what launch really means? I don't think anybody knows what launch angle really means. The more I catch a baseball out here in front of me, the higher it goes. I don't want to get under it.
Right.
So we could do that. This is fun. This is a fun.
No, listen, I love it, man. I'm gonna have to get you. I have to bring you some hitting lessons on my youth sports pod one day. It's awesome. It's awesome youth sports lessons, man. I'm digging it, man. I like it. I do.
It makes sense. Like it's simple.
Does.
Like hitting's real versus feel, right? Like hitting's what's really happens versus what you want to feel.
Yeah.
Right. So everybody has a barrel drop in their swing. It's a natural progression of your swing, as you can see. But I don't want to overfeel that because I start getting here. So when you talk about all the great ones, The feel is here. It's here. It's a downward motion to get that barrel drop and to get as level through the zone as you can get. Like the great thing about hitting down on the baseball to create backspin and finish high. So why are we changing what guys are literally, the Will Clarks of the world, the Barry Bonds of the world, the Christian Yelichs of the world, great hitters are all saying the same damn thing because it's what really happens was what you want to feel. Now hitters today are, let me drop this. Let me try to launch that from here. And that's where strikeout rates go way up because I'm never going to catch up to anything here ever again. I'm a knee-high fastball, the belt high, and that's where I am.
And you're losing. Like, I'm not even a hitting coach, right? And when I started coaching softball is completely different than baseball. And so I learned. But when you're dropping to go up, you're losing half your power anyway. Like, you mentioned Will Clark. I love Will to throw, man. Like, if we can get Will on this show, he is an absolute he can't stand launch angle. He can't.
No. I thought I was bad. Will
he hates it.
Ripping everybody.
But you know what it is, Tom? It goes to what, and I'll go into it now. It's, we always do it, whether it be me and you or me or whatever, in an unfiltered take of the week. And it brings me right to that because what's going on is, again, people are listening to people who have no friggin' clue, all because whether maybe they're a little more entertaining, or maybe, they have a bigger follower count, or they have a bigger, a like machine on and my unfiltered take is this is what happens in society now. Like, I'm looking at Hall of Fame guy and Jason Starr, Hall of Fame guy, putting out gold. Like, he's on Twitter and he's putting out gold. And I'm looking like, wow, man, like he probably took him a month to come up with this tweet. Statistics and all this stuff. It's gold. To me and you, it's like an encyclopedia. And then he's getting like 4 comments, couple likes, 2 retweets. Then some schmo from Colorado who's sitting in his mom's basement, who's, on ChatGPT, is sitting there putting in something. He's got 100,000 views and blah, 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 all because, I don't know, because people think his hair looks cool or they like his backdrop, right? So again, the problem in society is we listen to the wrong people now. All because, right? It's ridiculous. How is a Hall of Fame guy like Jason Starr not getting the love? Why? Because people think, oh, this guy's boring. He's boring because he's telling the truth. He's boring because he's spitting knowledge, because we all want to be stupid now. No, nobody wants to use a brain. And it really bothers the shit out of me that I have to watch this every single day. And it goes back to this, man. It exactly what happens. People are listening to the wrong voice. They really are.
Oh, and a lot of followers out there in the world. You know what I mean? Ton of followers.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
People follow the new trend, right? Josh Donaldson, gets on MLB Network one night and he says, if your coach tells you what do you say, get on top of the baseball, tell him no and fire him. And like, who are you?
Yeah.
And I'm not telling anybody to get on top of baseball, so I don't know what guys are telling you that. But backspin's a real thing. If you don't think backspin's a real thing, you're a moron. And that's why you had one great year, and that was it. You were a one-trick pony, and then people know they can pound you up in the zone and get you out. That's the difference. So you don't know shit. You're another moron, and now kids started thinking leg kick you became the biggest thing in the world, right? And it's gone back a lot since. But leg kick you was big, and that was a trend, and it just trended to trend. Even travel organizations like, oh, where's the trend? Where's the next hot thing, right? And everybody knows it's too much, man. It's too much recreating. It's a recreation. That's what everybody's trying to do.
Why are we trying to recreate the wheel, man? Like, come on.
Recreate your game. I want to see your launch angle. I want to see your exit velocity. I want to see what you do on game day. You understand? I don't care. I can give a rat's ass about your metrics. I care about your metrics once I see how you play, not vice versa. And a lot of these organizations are metric. How does he compete, dude? I want this clip. How does he compete? Because there's guys that I know, I've seen it a million times, that will look a certain way inside, and on game days they just compete.
Yes,
and they're better than what they show. There's tons of that.
Some
so
guys
we're going to go off
some
a
guys
metric.
feed off a competition, right? They feed off a competition. Very simple. I mean, that's a good point by Greg. Bringing back the K Long talk about Kepler, and it's funny. I was talking about this. I know we talked about before, but I said, there's a lot of Cody Clemenses in the world and this and that. But and it's great pull by him finding something to swing, and that's what the pitch coach is for. But I can't stop to think, right? If just hypothetically, they're both lefties, right? So you can't give me we wanted Max Kepler because he's a lefty. Okay, well, so is Cody Clemens. Right. I know everybody's talking about defense, right? Whatever. We're already going through a non-defensive right fielder, non-defensive center fielder, whatever. But if you were able to take that $10 million at the beginning of the year and put that to better use to maybe the bullpen, you'd still have Jeff Hoffman. But instead, you decide to go out and sign Max Kepler when essentially you could have had the same player minus the defensive capabilities in Cody Clemens. Now, I know we all might not agree on that, but I still look at it and say, I don't think it's a huge upgrade. I don't, especially when you lost so much in the bullpen that right now you can absolutely use. So I do look at that specifically.
Yeah, for sure.
The softball coaches unite. Listen, man, I was a softball coach hung them up. I coached softball for 13 years. I loved every minute of it, man. Loved every minute of it. And it was, I'll tell you what an adjustment, because I'm old school, right? So back in the day, I remember my daughter, she was 8 years old. She wanted to play softball. They asked me to help coach. Like, okay, well, I don't know softball. So I'm thinking hitting is, right elbow up, bat up, right? Like, and they're like, yo, no, man, that thing is dropped. That thing is in your side. And I'm like, what? Like, that is the complete opposite of what I knew. So I will say this, and I think this will segue into our youth sports debate, is I remember watching some of these girls when we talk about pitching, not hitting, but the pitching is electric. To watch a girl have to throw a screwball or a drop, how much work goes into them trying to throw that specific pitch is absolutely it's insane. It's so much work. So when you're watching this, these NCAA tournaments, and you're watching these Alabamas, these huge SEC teams, and you're watching these girls flying off the mound, I'll tell you what, man, that is some skill. And we're talking about our youth pitchers. Are they throwing too many pitches? And you had brought this up because over the weekend with a tournament that you were in, and I know this just from a softball perspective, and I'll let you comment on this. I remember we were at 12U at the time, and I had a girl on the team that I said, hey, Tom, you watch, and I was like, this girl's going to be pitching the Olympics one day. This girl's that goddamn good. Like, she is a beast. She's and back then you're not counting pitches. So that we would ride this girl because in softball at 12U, you're lucky to have one pitcher, let alone two pitchers. So riding this girl, tournament after tournament. I said to my buddy, I was like, yo, we even watching how many pitches she's throwing? And he's like, yeah, I never thought about that. So we counted them. Dude, she threw 144 pitches one game in softball in 6 innings. And I was like, dude, we really got to back this up. Like, I never even realized how much she was pitching. And it brings me to right now that I got this question for you. This will be a perfect question for you. Why are there zero parameters right now in youth sports? These kids will pitch, their arm falls off. However, when they get to the major leagues, it's like, well, he can't pitch on 3 days rest. Oh, he pitched a bullpen session yesterday. He can't get up. We baby them when they get to the major leagues, but we pitch them when their arms fall off when they're kids. Like, where is the disconnect? Is it the players? Is it the parental pressure? Like, what is making these kids pitch until their arms fall off, man? Because I don't get it.
There's a couple things with this. A lot of tournaments have their rules.
Yep.
with pitch counts. There's factors that come into this when you talk about like UCL. We'll just talk about UCL injuries.
Yep.
Okay, there's a lot of different factors. Some of it's not overuse. Some of it's growth. I think a lot of kids are growing too fast. UCL injuries that I've seen have been from kids that sprouted really quick and they threw heavy baseballs. So it's not even the off speeds, it's the fastball. The UCL can't keep up with it.
Okay.
So I think a little bit's that, and then a little bit's I don't want to say overuse of it in some aspects, but it's year round.
That's true.
So it becomes a toll. And we think about how when we were growing up, how pitchers were handled, right? You would run poles, right? You would really focus on your core and your lower half, and you would use it more. So there's a lot of ways to look at, like Tom House and Mitch Williams talk about, do you walk every day? Well, you should throw every day, not pitch every day, but you should throw every day. I think there's a lot of truth to that. I think the arm care, but then there's abuse, and there's neglect, and there's trophy chasers, and people aren't in it for the right reasons. You think somebody's in it the right reason for your kid, but they're not. So I'm just going to call this how I see this tonight. When you're talking about, and I'll just call their name out because I do not care. So when you talk about top dog ghost, okay, I'm just going to tell you that coach doesn't give a rat's ass about arguably the number one ranked player in the state of New Jersey. Now, I'm not going to mention a kid's name because that's not fair, but I will mention the organization. So you're talking about arguably the number one player in the state of New Jersey, who was a varsity player who pitched on goddamn Saturday. I don't care if he threw 20 pitches. I don't care if he threw 15. Your season is not over yet. You should not be the starting pitcher for a championship game that you will probably win anyway. Where's the accountability? Well, I'll tell you, parents don't care.
Nope.
They think if they say something, or let me show off, let me show it off, let me show them off. Well, okay. I'm not saying anything's going to happen to a kid. I don't know, right? But there's only so many bullets in that chamber. And I've always said this to people. It is develop at all costs.
Yes.
I won something playing. I didn't win a World Series or anything like that, but I won a state title. Like, I'm not in it for the wrong reasons like a lot of these people, and I don't deserve a reward for it. That's how it should be. I ain't the Pope. Like, oh, he's perfect. Nobody's perfect. But we got to care about these kids. I've had 2 UCL injuries around me. So it's not bulletproof. And I can literally sit here and be okay with it because I didn't abuse either one of them. So there's a lot of factors on why this happens. It's not clear cut.
No, it's not. And you bring up some points I never even thought about, right? And which is great. But I know like Greg's in this all about those trophies, and it is a lot of it's trophy chasing. Let's call it what it is, man. A lot of it is trophy chasing. I talk about it. Cheap Pop, Fighting for Overtime podcast, a youth sports pod that I've run, and I've had a lot of coaching. I've coached for over 20 years. And I've looked at a lot of these experiences. A lot of it's self-reflection. And I've talked to a lot of great people and a lot of great minds and a lot of great baseball people. And one thing you said was about, it's like when we grew up, we didn't have fall ball. We didn't have indoor training, man. We went out and we played for 3 months, 4 months, whatever it was, and we were done until the next year. And now these kids, fall ball started to resurrect. It was like, all right, we're going to play fall ball. That turned into just kind of like a workout league to know. Now it's hardcore trophy chasing, right? And then it was like, well, what about the off season? Oh, we got to train. Okay, you need to train, which is fine. I get it. I understand that. But my thing is, did anybody ever think about the overuse of the arm that went from 3 to 4 months to now 11 to 12 months? When does this kid ever get a break? He never gets a break. This never gets a break. I watched one of my good buddies whose kid just graduated, played fantastic in college ball. And, he had a really bad back injury and comes at that injury could have stemmed from a lot of the stuff that he was doing in his younger years. Not directly, not from overuse, just constant playing and not taking breaks,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the body's really not made to do that. It's
No.
not, right? I mean, and I think a lot of this, I will say it, when you're 12, when you're 13, 14, 15, 16, I don't care what it is. I don't care how professional your kid is, how mature your kid is. You still got to be a freaking parent. And I still look at the parents as being PE number one, bro. Like they are public enemy number one when it comes to this. You have to do what's in the best interest of your friggin' kid. I don't care what the coach is telling you, the trainer's telling you. At the end of the day, that is your kid and your responsibility. And unfortunately, like you said, not a lot of people want to step up because what are they afraid of? Oh, you know what? If I say something, maybe I'm going to lose my spot in rotation on a team. Maybe I'm going to lose out of the freaking carpool line, or I'm not going to be in the trophy gate. Like, come on, man! Like,
or they're scared of their kid like not
Yeah.
playing, right? Like, oh, they, maybe they won't play them, or
exactly.
the coach won't like us, and we're gonna have to go, somewhere else, right? So there's like, a lot of factors, a
lot. I mean, we could have this discussion for weeks, and it's going to evolve. That's the best thing about it. This discussion will continue to evolve because the best part is, there will be studies done, and there already are studies done about ACL injuries and things of that nature. So there's going to be studies done to see, some of this stuff does affect. Like there's going to be concrete evidence, and then it's going to be your job as a parent to say, okay, now how do we adjust? Like, I'm glad my kids were never pitchers. I'll be honest, because as much as it is your probably your best claim to getting into major leagues, the whole thing is, guess what, man? There's so much to manage. You know this, so much to manage if you're a parent of a pitcher, right? It's like my daughter was a catcher, and same thing. And there was a lot for me to manage when she was a catcher. And she was the only catcher, a lot of different things you have to teach, right? So a lot of different training. So it is definitely going to be something down the pike that I think we're kids are going to talk about.
Yeah, and I think the one thing I'll say about softball is, it's different for softball because it's a natural. This is natural,
A line.
Right?
Yep.
So that's the difference. Like you can have one or two pitchers and go cruise through tournaments or SEC title games or whatever it may be. With baseball, it's just not natural. It's not a natural movement. But I think the biggest thing is really just how many pitches are thrown throughout the year. So like when you have high school guys, you got to be careful, especially their varsity arms, and they come out of their season. They obviously have to throw in the summer, a little less wear and tear on them. I try to keep guys 80, 90 in the summer. If you're cruising, it's your game, and maybe I'll let you get up there at the end of the summer to 95 one day, or worst case give you maybe 100 if you're in 7 innings, right? Like maybe, but it's all how many stressful innings did you have, right? A lot of factors go into just watching what you're watching and making an educated decision on how he looks. Is he laboring? But you got people that aren't pitching guys or know nothing about pitching that can't identify it. The big thing I always bring with me, always have had is, and try to have is a pitching guy with me consistently. Not that I don't know, because I do, but I like to have the other set of eyes too. I think it's important. But a lot of these places don't do that. They don't care. And then you go in the fall ball, you're going to be throwing 80 pitches in the fall for what?
Yep.
For what? That's a 40, 50 pitch start, guys. That's what that has to be. And you have to limit it here. But there's so much. And then I want to go guest play for this organization or guest play for this organization. I have one rule. I have the biggest rule there is in travel baseball. I own your arm when you're here. When you play for us, I own your arm that summer. I don't own you as a player. I own your arm to protect you. You have to allow us to own your arm to protect you. If you don't get that, then you don't get it.
Dude.
You think, oh, these guys are animals. What are you talking about? I care about you.
Yep.
I want to make sure that you're healthy moving forward or give you the best opportunity. Does that mean that's 100%? that rate's 100%? No, it's not. It's not 100%. You're going to be healthy rate. But that's some of the problems, Tone. And I'm in the
I
business
agree.
to say, like,
I
hey,
agree.
when you're younger, I can't, don't clip this, but like when you're younger, it's like, why are you need to play in the fall too? You need to go pitch in the fall. You don't got other sports.
Nope.
I'm an advocate of the other sports.
Me too.
Like 100%. A lot of people at the
100%.
younger
Yes.
ages. So I mean, people are like, well, he's got hockey or he's got this, and I'm like, dude, you'll get a discounted rate if you want to play, but we don't expect you to be here all the time.
Right.
When you're here, you're here. Like guys in the winter, like, I got basketball, coach. What am I going to do? You're going to go to basketball. Like, I don't know what to tell you. It's basketball season. Like, it's not baseball season.
I love that. I love that. And I, you know why I love that? Because I had the same rule. It's funny. That's why, like, I coached my soccer kids when I coached them. Started them at 8 years old. I went to 17, and I had a 90% retention rate for those kids. I kept the team together. And the one thing I preach to those kids all the time: listen, fall is soccer season. Like, that is the main soccer season's the fall. It starts at Labor Day weekend and it runs December. And guess what? In the spring, what's number one? It's baseball. So my thing is, you go to baseball. If you can make soccer, that's fine. But in the spring, soccer ain't competitive. Soccer, you're just playing. So no, I want you to play multiple sports. I just want you to prioritize what the sport is within season.
Yeah.
And they loved it. And the parents are like, we can't find anybody else. Everybody else is like, nope. If it's baseball, it's 100% baseball.
Yeah.
That's how you lose kids, man. That's how you lose kids.
I couldn't agree more. And I wish more people and more parents actually took that and was like, oh, this is different.
Yeah.
Like, I got kids. I know organizations that'll bench it or they won't even take it.
Oh,
you're being honest and telling me what you have, and you're saying you still want to figure out a way to play. I'm going to give you the opportunity to figure out a way to play.
Hell yeah, man.
What are we doing? Like, the guy wants to play. It's their money. If he's my 12 and I still got 11 there, I'm okay.
Exactly.
I'm not taking a spot from somebody else. If he can make half the stuff, why am I gonna hurt him of that opportunity? Because this is a kid that wants to be a full-time guy in the spring, hypothetical, right? So, like, why then you got to give him the opportunity.
Yep.
But you have to be understanding. I have another hockey player who played for my team, and when he missed, he missed. Like, it was hockey season. And he was always apologetic. And I'm like, I don't know why you keep saying you're sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
I've told you 25 times. Go ahead. I don't know how many more times I got to tell you. But these are great conversations. I love these talks.
It's different, man.
Yeah.
You don't get this on WIP. You don't get this on a Fanatic.
You don't get this, man. I will expose people. Like, I already exposed one organization, and I'll expose the rest. This is what we're going to start doing. Like, the Unfiltered is, I'm going to start not only exposing media companies, I'll start exposing all travel organizations too that do it the wrong way.
Yep.
Do it the wrong way. You're selling people on lies, man. You're selling people on lies. Oh, you got to go play a national circuit to get recruited. No, you don't.
No, you do not.
No, you do not. So it is a money grab, man. Like, or you go under this umbrella. I'll use one organization. You go under this umbrella, and they got like this sub team. It's too many teams. It's like, I play under this umbrella, so I'm gonna maybe get a chance to go play for their scout team and their national team. No, you won't. And listen, if you are good enough, if you are that good, I can promise this to any player. I say this to guys, and some believe me and some don't, and that's on you. But if you are that good, you think they ain't gonna find you, bro?
This is social media is a monster. For you make a highlight reel, you send it whoever you want. They're going to find you. They're going to watch you.
If anybody says that organizationally that we're going to get you recruited, it's right. Yeah. You know what? You know what we pride ourselves in? The D1 guy is the D1 guy. God damn it. Is that D3 guy that needs to find a home. Yes. They're the guys you got to work for.
Yep.
Now, that doesn't mean you don't work for your D1 guys. Of course, you got to put work in for them too. But their natural freaking ability, it shows itself, or their resume, or whatever it may be.
Yep.
That's
100%, man. I'll end on this. I'll tell you a great story about this that you'll like. I know more about soccer than baseball, only because that's what I coached, right? So there's a organization, and again, I expose them all. My pot, like I got no skin in the game anymore. Like I got stories that will make people's hips shake, right? So at the end of the day, there's an organization called the Yukis, and the Yukis is this huge soccer organization, and same thing. They have all these teams, and the great team, and each team is a different price point. And the A team's going to go to Brazil, but the B team, they're only going to go to Ireland, and you might not get seen by as many people in Ireland. It's all a bunch of fucking scam. Okay, that's what it is. At the end of the day, so I'll never forget. So I had this girl, one of my assistant coach, his daughter was amazing and a great kid, really good talent. And she was torn for a couple years because she played in the community that we played on a travel club, wasn't elite, okay, but was a competitive travel club. Won cups, won state championships, but wasn't the upper echelon like the Yukis. So long story short, she decided, she was like, look, I know what people are trying to tell me, and shout out to her dad who didn't make her, didn't force her in any decision, allowed her to make up her mind. And she said, I'm going to stay here because I love my friends, I love my coaches, and we're competitive. I had opportunity to play, and I know that even if I don't get Division One, that I'm going to get scouted, and I'm going to put myself out there enough. I'm going to get an opportunity. So the motto, the lesson of the story is, so this is her senior year. She just committed to a Division II school. Well, that Division II school, not only did they scout her, but they made her their number one priority. Guess what? Who was number 3? Or who was number 2, 3, 4, and 5? A girl in the Yukis. So guess what? She was the number one recruit, and she stuck it out. She didn't pay thousands and thousands of dollars to these scam artists out there. She got to have fun, play with her friends. She was competitive as hell. She got a great education, and now she's going to get 4 years paid, and she's going to play Division II soccer, and she couldn't be more ecstatic. And it was above the kids in the other organization where their parents were selling out 10, 12, 15 grand. So yes, it can happen.
Yeah, I'll head on one more and we'll get out of here. Another unfiltered.
Oh, you're right. KT, we are the new radio.
Oh,
That's
yeah.
right. We are the new radio.
I tried to say we've been in new radio for over a decade.
You've been saying it for years, man.
Yeah, maybe it took over a decade, but we're here, baby. And this is it. This is as simple as this. It starts with perfect game when you talk about baseball. And you're going to say, well, why does it start with perfect game? That's the scam artist. You understand where I'm going with this?
Yeah.
That's the only way to get recruited? Are we out of our damn minds? Like, are we serious? Like, the only way you get recruited is going to Georgia? You got to go to Georgia 4 times in a year. You got to go to Hoover, Alabama. That's the only way you get recruited. That's not the only way you get recruited.
Nope.
That is for, I say it 1,000 times, that is for first-round draft picks and Power 5 SEC monsters. That's who it's for. Now, do we play in it? Absolutely. But we're ranking, like you guys say, we're ranking 8U players. Like, we give a rat's ass.
Oh.
If a college out there cares about it,
Don't
fire that guy.
Oh,
fire him immediately. So, because now every kid is, what's my PG ranking? What's my PG ranking? So that dictates the player you are.
Yep.
I say to guys all the time, we're going to put our data in the perfect game. We're going to put our data in the prospect select. We're going to put our data in the PBR. We're going to sprinkle our data everywhere. If you put your eggs all in the one basket, you're doing yourself a disservice as a player. And I stand by that. I absolutely stand by that. Now, am I Mr. Recruiter? Have I done a ton of recruiting myself? No, but I've seen it done. I know how it's done. And, we obviously have a lot of resources to help with that stuff and get guys into the right schools. But the point is that is the first scam. And then it turns into these bigger organizations saying, well, we got this team, we got this team. And you should have a couple of teams at age groups. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
Right. But it's not to sell that if I have a scout team, I have to go down south 5 times in the summer. No, I don't. I go down twice. Go down
Ridiculous.
twice. Why do you got to spend all that money? Yeah, if you're good enough to go down there, go down there. I'm not taking a shot at it, but it doesn't need to be your entire schedule.
Exactly.
This is where it's crazy. And now they become the biggest money grab of all time. You got
100%.
6U tournaments.
Oh,
6U.
6U. Come on.
Put yourself in the dick. Seriously.
Oh my God.
Like, we got to remind these parents. I love this sport. I love it.
God.
But my son is not playing 6U travel baseball. Knock it off.
Not only that, who the hell is pitching at 6U? That's got to be the most boring friggin' game in the world. Like, you talk about picking daisies in the outfield. There ain't not going on at 6U, man. Like nothing. Oh my God. Last thing I'll say, you made a great point about putting your data everywhere. And the reason why it's a great point, and I know it's spot on, is I had a guest on my pod about 3 weeks ago. Her name's Mackenzie Shizzle. And she is a D1 scout. And the first thing she said, the biggest mistake she made, and she played D1 soccer, she said, the biggest mistake I made was I pigeonholed myself in a D1. I didn't even give myself the opportunities to look at D2, D3. And the first thing I tell the kids who I help recruit is say, listen, keep the options open, put your stuff everywhere. Stop pigeonholing in D1 because there's a lot of opportunities out there, man. A lot of opportunities.
Ton of opportunities.
Crazy.
Joey said, ton of talent at the D3 level. Absolutely. Yeah, and the way recruiting is and NIL and everything else is that, there's a lot of factors go into it. A lot of guys are getting pushed down in levels because of all the extra years, the red shirt year. There's so much is going on with college baseball. It's making it really hard.
Yep.
And that's what you said it. That's why kids need to put their eggs in more than one basket and more than one level basket and, not poo-poo to D3 level. I don't know why that's ever poo-poo. I laugh at that. That's comical to me. You're going to poo-poo to JUCO level? No.
Oh.
Are you kidding me?
Come on, man.
That's what I tell guys all the time. And, you nailed it with people play for organizations not because of what's on the front of the shirt most of the time. This is what they should. Who is my coach?
Yep.
Coaches matter. That's
100%.
That's the end of this conversation. Coaching in every sport matters. Who is my coach? And then I make a decision off of if I want to play here. So yes, do I need a good organization? Of course, right? And structure and all those things, right? But the final piece comes down to who's developing my kid.
Coaching matters. That here's a good segue for next week. How about we talk about if we could pick the sport, and we talk about if we had one coach we would want to play for. If we had a chance to go back in time and say, you know what, I want to start out as an 8U player, whether it be basketball, football, soccer, baseball, whatever. Who was the one coach you would want to lead? If he could stay with you for the next 10 years, who would that guy be? I think that could be an interesting conversation.
It can be. And yeah, the division doesn't matter. Elena's right. Your top 10% playing a college sport. Find your home. Do not get distracted by the number.
Love it.
No, and the number can go up. That's the world we live in college baseball.
Just be careful with that first. That D does not. That definitely does matter. You know what I mean? To say it. It's a D.
It matters. Thank you, ask.
Yeah.
Am I really last? I think just to drive this home is so much. There's organizations out there that believe that the only way you get better is on your own, and you don't get better by coaching and teaching. And I have a major issue with that. Like, you got AI teaching them? Like, they're 14 or 15 or 16-year-old kids. Even my 17-year-olds, they need guidance. They need technique at times. They need help. What are we talking about? Like, what are we talking about? Like,
scary.
I would literally give 2 middle fingers to that organization if they actually told me that, and I've heard it. It's been said that, we believe that they get better by on their own. And yes, the work you put when nobody's watching is how you get better. but you need the guidance of that to then go do it. But they just want to, this one organization just wants to pull the best of the best.
Of course.
And they make their life easy.
Of course.
And then they sell the rest on the best of the best. This is how they operate.
It's
Yeah.
I gotta real fast before we go. I don't know if this is real or not, but my man Jorge checking in here saying that we got a P Train as an idol. So
That's tough.
let's go. Wait, I gotta ask, bro. Jorge, I'm not trying to laugh, but I just think that there's a lot of better idols out in the world than Paul George. just I mean, listen, after what I saw on the boat the other side, I think Stephon Diggs may be my idol. Like at the end of the day, man, because my man's living it up.
He's dancing it out.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
What's going on here? But will he return? Yes, he will return because he's not going anywhere. Nobody's taking that contract. Sorry.
Yeah. So I mean, I hope he sends you an envelope every month for the love that you're showing him.
Podcast P.
We send you a couple bucks. Tell him, great show like always, brother.
Always, man. Always.
Philly Sports Unfiltered, A2D Radio. We will see you next Thursday. Stay tuned. Obviously, agree to disagree. This Sunday, we'll be on, 9, 10 o'clock in that range like we always are. And turn your alerts on wherever you're at so you can catch all our live shows. We got a ton of them. Wrestling, hockey, all sports, me and Tone. I mean, if you go anywhere else, that's on you. That's Tony Cutillo. I'm Tom Arnone. We love you all. We appreciate you all. See you next week.